Okay, I have a few questions. Let's see. About Kashmir Shaivism.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if there's any connection or similarity between the 108 kriyas and the 112 Dharanas of Vijnana Bhairva scripture.
Yeah, it's very similar, but it's not from this tradition. It's a different tradition, but I said there are many ways to look into this. There may be many traditions. And Kashmir Shaivism, it goes back to several hundred years. From Bhoja onwards, it's there. But we came to know of Kashmir Shaivism only after the time of Lakshman Jew. Many people don't know much about. So the Dharanas described in Vijnana Bhairva, for instance, they're slightly different, but you cannot say that they are completely different from the 108 kriyas, because the 108 kriyas have not been revealed in full to anybody till now. So I cannot compare. Yeah. We know some kriyas, few kriyas. We know the kriyas to open the mind. We know the kriyas to open the shushumna and let the energy go up. We know the kriya to finally, when we leave the body, what we should do. These kriyas we know, but there may be several other kriyas. And I see, from my understanding of Kashmir Shaivism, it's a very advanced way of looking at the philosophy of, instead of Brahman, they call their divinity Shivam. And Shivam does not mean the Shiva with a snake and all that. It's abstract. It means that which exists everywhere, all pervading, and which has no form. And its quality is happiness, ananda, bliss. This is Shivam. And so it's more a philosophical movement than a practical movement. But one needs to prepare, so there are these dharanas.
In your biography, you mentioned the meeting between Maheshwarnath and yourself and Thenkasi Siddhar.
Mm.
And he tells you about the link between Tamil Siddhars, the Nat Panth, Kashmir Shaivism, and Sri Guru Babaji. Can you expound on that topic? Perhaps especially the Kashmir Shaivism and Sri Guru Babaji.
Whatever I have said in the book, that's all I know. I don't know anything more than that.
But you write that he tells you about...
Yeah, Thenkasi Siddhar was a Tamil Siddhar. So his teachings were Shaiva Siddhanta philosophy, which is very similar to Kashmir Shaivism, but in terms are a little bit into South Indian language, South Indian theme. The greatest writer in the Shaiva Siddhanta tradition was someone called Thirumoolar, who wrote the Tirumantiram. Tirumantiram means the great mantra, which is about Om Namah Shivaya, about the 5-lettered Shiva mantra, Om Namah Shivaya. And so they are linked to the Kashmir Shaivism because he came from the north and settled down in the south. So he brought a lot of his knowledge and philosophy from there. And the link with the Nath Sampradaya is that Babaji has been linked to all traditions. Any great teacher of any tradition who could go there and talk to him and get some help. But he is considered above all traditions. Because anyone could go there, therefore it is linked to Kriya. It is not like, it's not as if you have to go through all to reach there. Any tradition is all right to go. And there is a lovely story about Thirumoolar, who wrote the Tirumantiram. It's a big book which describes extensively on how to use the Shiva mantra Om Namah Shivaya to arouse your chakras and take it up, which is similar to the Kashmir Shaivis. They use also the Aim Kleem Sau, which is the Tripura mantra. In fact, Lakshman Ju has written a good translation of Panchastavi, which is about the Devi. Normally he writes about Shiva, but about the Devi. So, what I am trying to say is it's all interlinked. We cannot exactly place where, but it is all interlinked. And Thirumoolar, who wrote the Thirumantra, nowadays it's available in English. Ramakrishna Mission is publishing it. He came from Kashmir and he was walking towards the south to go to, his guru was Agastya, the great rishi, who had gone to the south and not returned. So Thirumoolar came looking for him. So as he moved into the forest, he saw some sheep standing and looking very sad and crying. Sheep. So he looked why they are crying. He found that their shepherd had died due to something, we don't know. He died. So they were surrounding him and looking very sad and making sounds and crying. So Thirumoolar felt, his name was something else at that time. He felt very bad and sad. So he went and kept his body inside a hollow tree, inside a big tree which has become hollow. He kept his body and he came out and entered the shepherd's body. And the shepherd got up and took the sheep home. Moolar in Tamil language means shepherd. So Thirumoolar means great shepherd. So when he went home, everything was okay, appearance, but his wife found that he was talking strange things. He said, my husband never talked like this, what is he saying? Namah Shivaya, this, that. And she got a little worried what to do. So then he started teaching people and writing books and all. She said, something has happened to my husband, She didn't take it in a good way. Then he thought it is a good idea to go back to the place where the body is kept and take his body and go back. He thought like that. When he went there, they found that some forest tribes had found his body and they thought he was dead, so they burned it. So he was stuck in the shepherd's body forever till he died. And then he wrote the Thirumantra.
What is the relationship between Kriya Yoga practice and Tantric practices?
That's a big question.
Is there underlying philosophy the same?
Now the Tantra is such a large philosophy, I don't know how to...
Are the nuts tantrikas?
No, there are, among the Nats there are Tantrics and non-Tantrics. It's not required that they should be. The thing is that Tantra, actually the word Tantra in Sanskrit means operating. Yantra is a machine. So one who operates the machine is a Tantric, who knows how to operate this machine. Yantras, you've seen some mandalas, so how to operate the mandala. So then he becomes a Tantric. Now the Tantra is a very vast subject. There is one section of Tantra called Yoga Tantra. There are many kinds of Tantra. Yoga Tantra is Kriya Yoga or something similar to that. There is a Yoga Tantra textbook which is called Satchakra Nirupana. Satchakra Nirupana. It's actually Tantric, but Yoga Tantra. It combines Tantra and Yoga. So that was translated by Sir Arthur Avalon in English. Sir Arthur Avalon was a senior judge of the High Court in Calcutta. He was an Englishman. after he took voluntary retirement and studied Tantra, especially Yoga Tantra. And he is the first man to write books in English on Yoga Tantras, also other Tantras. One of the best books I would recommend for people who want to understand Tantra is to read his Introduction to Tantra. Very nice, simple language. And he translated Sat Chakra Nirupana, that means understanding the 7 chakras, which is part of Kriya, into a book which in English is called Serpent Power. The Kundalini, Serpent Power. So Yoga Tantras deal with that Tantra, part of Tantra which deals with Kriya. But there are Tantras which need not be associated with Kriya. It's not always connected. Yeah, Tantra follows the principle, little dangerous, bhogo yogayati, which means yoga through enjoyment, through bhoga. Yoga through bhoga, which means they feel that most people cannot give up all this and go off up into the spirit. So let them live in this world and enjoy. And then after enjoying, taste it. After tasting, then you say, oh, that's all, and then leave it. So Tantra believes in that. Basic word Tantra means bhogo yoga, yoga through enjoyment. Not cut off, but enjoy and then let go. But for that you require a proper teacher. Otherwise you will enjoy and you will enjoy and you will enjoy, you will never let go. You know what I mean? It can't go. No. So you need a proper direction and a proper, for instance, some tantric practices involve man and woman in sexual union. Okay, now this, unless you are very careful, you will not go up, you will only go there, stay there. So you need a proper teacher for that, because then even in that act you can arouse your Kundalini in a different way. Yeah. But then people afterwards forget about Kundalini and they are only in action. This is no danger.
You already mentioned the word Devi once, and I wanted to ask about Sri Devi that you once met, or she appeared to you once. You tell about it in the book, and also she's called Mataji by Yogananda. I wanted to know a little more. We would like to hear a little more about her role and her relationship to Sri Guru. Some are saying that they are very close to each other, and that they are. Some are even claiming that they are almost like Shiva and Shakti, like a one entity. What is your opinion about these all things, and what do you know about her? And
I'm going to say something which may be quite explosive for you, in which you many people will not agree. There is no difference between her and Babaji. Babaji in female form is Sri Devi, in male form is Babaji. Sufficient. And people say he is a sister. He is not. He was not born from the womb of a woman. So how can he have a sister? You understand? So the feminine energy of Babaji is Sri Devi, and the male energy is Babaji. There is no difference between the two. Some people may not like it. It's okay, record it. I don't care.
I like it very much. No problem. So, a little continuation of this question that Sri Guru is being viewed as Shiva. So it is kind of a Shiva tradition in that way. So what is can you elaborate a little more, what is the role of Shakti in the tradition? And I don't mean now this physical female-male thing, but more subtle understanding and place for hreem.
Now in the Indian system of thought, especially the Tantra. Tantra is an ancient science. It's not only concerned with sex. That's what people think. It's not like that. I mean, that is just part of it. Everybody has sex. Tantra is an ancient science, and the whole of creation, according to the ancient Tantra and Purana, starts with the feminine energy. It's called the universal womb. It's from this that the entire creation comes up. Gross, subtle, everything. And that energy is called Shakti. It's called Parashakti, that means the great energy. It then divides itself into different energies. In the human body it is Kundalini. In nature it is something else. It is also atomic energy. All energies that we have, because that is the root of all energy. In us it is Kundalini. Not as if only we have, everybody has, everywhere there is this energy. Now this Parashakti is Shakti when it is active, kinetic. The moment it becomes settled down and calm, its essential nature is Shivam. Not two things. Even when we do Kriya, when we take the energy up, once it goes to the Sahasrara, there is no difference between Shakti and Shiva. But Shiva cannot be touched directly because it is absolute calm, unconditional, tranquil reality. Only quality is Ananda, bliss. All other action goes because of Shakti. So we can only touch Shakti. And when the Shakti has done his work, then you understand that there is no Shiva, there is no Shakti. This is why in some places Shiva is depicted as Ardhanarishwara, half woman and half man, because they are the same, they are not different. So this is the relationship between Shakti. You cannot directly touch Shiva. You can only touch Shakti, which means manifestation, energy, kinetic. That is potential. So when the kinetic energy is activated and reaches the Sahasrara, then the traditional image is that then Parvati or Shakti or Kundalini, whatever you got, goes and comes into union with Shiva who sits here, and then there is no difference. It is the same. This is the connection. All activity, all movement, all energy is only till the last movement, even in physical tantra. In the last moment, when, what is that word used? I don't know. And one is in ecstasy, even physically. There is no man, woman, nothing at that time, because you can't even think for a second. Everything is gone. There is only bliss. This is physical. It is the same way up there, in a different way. Which is why people who touch that they don't enjoy anything much, because they have touched enjoyment. They know where is the treasure.
Could you tell a little more about your relationship with Maheshwarnath? How would you describe him as a physical being? And what is your idea of what he's doing right now?
Now?
Yes.
Now I don't know. I have no idea. But then I know that he was a great yogi who had transcended the human form, even though he had a human form. But he was born somewhere like a physical human being. He is not like Babaji, Sri Guru Babaji. But he lived for several years because he had work to do and he kept his body very young. When I met him, he must have been around 30 years old. He looked like he was 30 years old. And I was 21 years old. And some people even thought that I was his brother, younger brother. And till all the years I knew him, he remained exactly the same. There is no difference. No difference. I became more older, but he did not. So he had some secret by which he kept his body young. It's called Kaya Kalpa, for a purpose. And then when he needed to go, I think he must have lived around 200-300 years, because he used to know people who lived at that time. Sometimes some great grandson of some family used to come in the Himalayas to prostrate and pay respects. Then the mother and grandmother would say that their grandfather used to know Babaji. So I say, one lady told me, Babaji, I say he was exactly like this when we knew him, and she had grandchildren. So I don't know. I can only say what I know. Okay. So, but being that, with me or with others also, he behaved like a human being. He was so kind, he was so friendly. With me he was like my father, my mother, my guru, my teacher, everything put together, and friend. He used to joke, he used to be like normal. It's an extraordinary individual. I have not seen anybody like this on this earth. Babaji is different, leave it. But here, with a body, physical body, I have not seen anybody. And if you ask me what he is doing now, I don't know, because we are prohibited from inquiring into such things. So they go. And when he left, he said, it is time to go now. When he wanted to go, he said, it is time to go, I have done my work. I have got somebody for the work, scapegoat. He didn't say scapegoat. And then, so now I need to go. First, when he said, I am going, I thought he is going somewhere in the Himalayas. I said, I will also come. He said, here you cannot come now, you have work to do. So he went in the most extraordinary way. He just breathed a few times and sat in Padmasana and went. I am hoping if I can go like that when I go. I don't want to be in a hospital.
Do you know that technique? That breathing technique? Has he taught you that?
He has. As long as you are conscious, you can do it. But if you lose your consciousness, it is not possible to do it. But if you are conscious till the last minute, you can do it. It's what I was afternoon discussing with you, this transfer of consciousness.
Yeah.
The Tibetans also have this technique. I don't know now how many people have, but...
So what about the practice of keeping yourself young? What did you call it? Kalpa something?
What?
The
Kaya
practice-
kalpa.
Huh?
Kaya kalpa.
Kaya kalpa.
Kaya kalpa means rejuvenating the body.
Yeah. Do you know that technique also?
Yeah, I know, but who wants to live for so long?
Yeah. but what if you don't find your successor?
I'm hoping to find some.
Then you have to.
But
keep yourself
really,
young.
actually, I practice every 5 to 10 years. When I feel my energy is going low, I do little bit of Kaya Kalpa and revive myself. Now I'm 70 years old. Right now, 69 over, 70 in November. My body or my mind has no feeling of being old. I actually, my mind is like an 18-year-old. I like mischief, In fact, I was coming in the afternoon. I thought of changing people's shoes and putting them here. So they go. See, you grow old when you think you are growing old. Otherwise, the physical body, like my hair has become grey, well, I can keep it dark, but what is the use? At least people respect you now, right? So, I get senior citizen 10% discount. So, but actually I am not. I don't feel anything of that age. Really, I don't. What I used to do 10 years ago, 20 years, I continue to do. There is no problem here. I have only 2 children because I don't want to. Otherwise, I can have 1 dozen. So that is, nothing happens. Everything is okay. Because my mind energy of the mind is not lost in useless things. That also contributes. It's there, all the energy is stored and kept, so it's not being wasted. Distraction and conflict, they destroy a lot of energy, the mind. And the mind is connected to the body, both ways. And physically, from the age of 9 till today, I do at least half an hour of yoga asanas. Yeah, not left it unless I am sick, have fever or something. Otherwise, I do regularly. That's why after tea I want some 1 hour, because I do on my own some things. Basically, they are asanas, some pranayam, and some bandhas. This I have been doing from the age of 9. And I think that is also responsible for keeping me fit and young, mind and body.
Is it possible for you to teach what you practice, the yoga? Is it
Yoga,
just regular
it's simple.
yoga
It's a
asanas?
regular yoga asanas.
Yeah.
It's very simple, but a couple of small things can be added. Yeah, you can add a few things which will be very helpful. Diet is very important. Too much of alcohol is not a good idea. You can have a glass of wine, yes, it's vegetarian, but not more than that. But nobody stops with one, So avoid as much as possible and try to be a vegetarian food. It's very good for your health, no harm. It has all the proteins that you need. And do your asanas, go for walks, keep yourself fit. Have a regular wash.
Yeah, you told a funny story earlier today, before everybody here came, that Maheshwarnath even sent you out running.
Sent me?
He sent
Running.
you running.
Yeah, because he thought I was meditating too much. One day I meditated for 2 hours, 3 hours, and then I was kind of then feeling sleepy. He said, in Hindi, he said, "Kya kar rahe ho? What are you doing?" I said, "Babaji, I am meditating." He said, "You are not meditating, you are sleeping. So what should I do?" "Get up." I said, got up. "Wash your face." I said, "Wash my face." There's a waterfall there, so go there and wash your face. So cold water. In December, the Himalayas are cold. I washed my face, so I woke up. And then he said, "You see, from here, go 10 kilometers to the next, run and come back." So I said, no, fast. So I ran 10 kilometers. And he said, "You run and come back." But when you're young, you're a little mischievous. So after running 10 kilometers, I saw a small chai shop. So I went and had some tea. I got free tea. They seen me with Babaji. "Oh, Babaji's disciple." Chai, he said, "You will have tea?" I said, "Yes." So sometimes he used to, one day he made me do Shirsasan for 30 minutes, which is very bad. Especially if you have high BP, then you're sure to have a hemorrhage. Because he said, I had confidence that nothing is going to happen. Half an hour he got me up, legs up. He said, "Actually, I wanted to tie your legs to the tree and hang you, but I'm not doing that. Just do your Shirsasan." So he tried me in many times to make sure that I understood what he was trying to do and followed. And for me, like whatever he said, I used to do. I used to argue sometimes because I was young. No, I can't do it. This is not possible. Then finally, okay. What I cannot believe is this great man with such spiritual capacities and with such traditions, if I argued with him, he didn't mind. See, this is extraordinary. He can say, "Shut up," but he never said. Sometimes he even said, if I ask him something, "Oh, I'll tell you tomorrow, I don't know." Then he will find out and tell me the next day. His finding out was very easy. He would sit down and find out. Not like us going there to. One day I was asking him about some text which is not available in print in English. So, where will I get it? So he said, yeah, it is there. We are in the Himalayas. He said it is in the south of India in a place called Tanjore. There is a big Shiva temple there. There they have a library. It's called the Saraswati Mahal Library, and there they have this text. I said, Babaji, so how to go there? No, it's not so important. Why should you have it urgently? I said, no, it's not urgent, but I am very interested in this text. So he said there are no translations, no book has been published. It's in manuscript form. You know, there's palm leaf manuscripts. They write with a sharp thing. So I said, so what to do? Oh, after some years when you go there you can see, he said. I was not very happy, but what to do? I mean, if it is there and it is here and we cannot do anything. So very reluctantly I said, okay, then I will see it sometime. And he said, why you look so sad, what's happened? I said, no Babaji, I really wanted to see that. Have you read it? He said, yes. Then can you tell me? He said, but I forgot, that was long ago. I said, no, you don't forget. This is not good. So he told me, okay, you leave it, and after 2 hours you come to me, I will tell you. So I went somewhere to the Ganga, I visited some temples and all, I came back to us. He didn't go anywhere. I thought you might think he telephoned somebody and asked. He didn't go. He was just sitting there like this. When I came back, he said, sit down. He said, chapter 1, chapter 2. So how did you, I was going to ask him, how did you find out? Then I thought it is foolish to ask. So I kept quiet. So I knew that he has the capacity to go somewhere, read something and come back. Nobody will believe this. I have seen it myself. I wouldn't have believed it if somebody said. I tried once, but it didn't work. Well, it can work sometimes.
Could you describe Sri Guru Babaji? How does he look like? Is it true that he appears looking different to different people? We talked about this earlier, but for the sake of
you have a picture here.
And how rare is it?
It looks very similar to that. But you're right, he can appear to different people in different ways. So we cannot really, but generally, this is how he looks. Generally. But he could look different. Because his body is it's not very solid. So I feel, we all know that he can change the form if required. There is many stories in the north of his appearing as a small boy. They call him Balaknath. So we don't know. I can only answer what I know. These are beyond my capacity to answer. Maybe after 2 births, I'll answer you.
I look forward to that.
How rare is it for people to actually get to see him physically?
It's very rare. Very rare. But just to see Babaji, you don't have to go and run in the Himalayas and all that. If you really have a desire to see Babaji, Finland is not far for him. He can go anywhere. Not like me, I have to get into aircraft. I don't think. If you really want to see him, then if you really want to see him, then you can see him anywhere. But the aim of our spiritual practice is not to see Babaji. It's to be free. to become illumined. That is our, not to see Babaji. Even by some chance, if you trouble him so much that he comes, he will probably get a good scolding. This is not why. This is not the aim of Kriya. Do you know that Lahiri Mahashaya once made him come? You don't know? After he got initiated in the Himalayas, he was going home. So on the way he stopped somewhere. And some people, and he told them, Babaji came, gave me this, that, Kriya. They said, all nonsense you are imagining. There is no such thing. We know you. You are lying. He said, Babaji said, whenever you want, I will be there. He said to me. Oh, then ask him to come now. They said. He was in a difficult situation. He didn't know what to do. So he went into a room and sat down quietly and said, Babaji, please come. These people are making fun of me. They think I am a liar. They think I am an idiot. They think I am gone mad. Please come. Babaji came. Opened the door. He said, show them once that I am here. Show them. And then after that he said, I will never come next time. I didn't say this to say that you should call me for nothing, like nonsense. If there is something important for you in your spiritual practice, then I am there. You know. So that is not important. We have to purify ourselves and find. But I am not saying you shouldn't have the desire to see Babaji. You should, but that is not the most important thing. You may have a desire. Who knows? Huh? And how will you know if he comes, suppose in some other form? How will you?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if she is Babaji. How do I know?
I know she's not.
Good one. Are you sure?
Thank you so much, though, for this wonderful talks and
I wish I could have told you more things, but whatever I could, I have told you. Gradually you will learn yourself, I think, bit by bit. My idea is to lead you there, so that you know yourself. Thank you.